Hi, Casey. Tim Hogenboom here again for the April update of our financials and kind of also what's going on behind the scenes. So let's get started. So year to date, we have a total of revenue of $1.539 million year to date. That was budgeted. Our actual is actually 1.523. So we're just shy, about 99% of what we expected to have for our giving so far. Our expenses was 1.6. And our actuals, well, that was budgeted, and our actual was 1.507. So we actually had quite a bit lower in our expenses year to date than what we had forecasted originally. So we were expecting to have $110,000 deficit, but we actually came in at a $16,000 surplus so far. So that's amazing. So how did we get there? Well, for the month of April, we had total revenue of $150,000, budget with actual of $152,000. And the total expenses were slated for $166,000, and we're pretty much bang on for that for $166,000. So in total, we were expecting to have a $16,000 loss, but actually we ended up with just over a $14,000 loss. So we gained better than what we expected. So what does that mean totally for the giving trends for the fiscal year to date? Well, for the budget giving to the general, we have just over $1.2 million. With the actual giving is 1.235. So is in excess of shortfall of $52,000. So we're a little bit short of what we expected to have so far. And we're kind of tapering around that 96, 97% of total giving. So thank you, church, for coming alongside and giving in this season. And it's making a difference. It's making a difference in the ministries that we're doing day in and day out. Whether it be youth ministries or whether it be the lights, it makes a difference as we do ministry, as we do getting to know Jesus and making him known. So what are we doing for ministries? Well, first off, we had Youth Night at the Oscars this year. So for the first time ever, it was the inaugural one, and it was kind of the highlight of the year. It's kind of what it sounds like. As you can see, everyone's kind of dolled up with the evening. And what they did this year was they had 7 groups make films, and we had the students actually involved. So some of them were directing, some of them were producing, some of them were acting, some of them were compiling and putting it together, all the soundtrack. Basically, we had these unhidden and unseen talents in the background making these films and using their gifts and talents, and then being able to have a night where they can have the Oscars. And it was just really neat to see these people, these kids, these youth, use their talents in ways that they've never done before and do something new and different with them, and just kind of build them up into team building and also into leadership in what they were doing. So it was just a really great night out. Comments came back from the parents going, I've never seen my kid smile as much as they have tonight. So, those kind of things are just really, really good for us as a church. And we've already actually started planning for it next year. So it was amazing to see Cody's all dressed up. I don't know if you can see it, but he's all dressed up in a suit. That doesn't happen very often. So that in itself was already a win for the evening. So that was Youth Night at the Oscars. And then also this month, we're just wrapping up Missions Month. And this month we've had a ton of things happening focused around what does it mean for KAC to be on missions and to go on missions. And so this year we actually had the Delamonts come, and they kind of gave us an overview as to kind of what they're doing, how they're involved in missions, what they're doing, and how they're enacting and their roles of being on mission. And kind of where their role is with Teach Beyond. So that was a blessing. We also had a missions hike with the young adults, which took them afar over east, and we connected there with Brian and Jessica and did a virtual tour of kind of of what it was like over there and what's like over here and the comparisons between the two, and really realizing that there's a whole new space for this kind of missions work or virtual tours. And so we're going to be exploring that and going like, how else can we do this and what does it look like to move forward? But it was just a really good time for us to connect and to get engaged with missions as a new platform with a new platform. So thank you, Diane, for running that. And then the other thing that we had this month was the Us Together conference. And it was such a blessing. It was such a great thing. We had 100 people show up for this conference, and even having folks come from the community who have no affiliation to the church, but heard through the community what it was that we're doing. And it just shows kind of the hunger out there for the reconciliation of what needs to happen. And so we're talking about the healing hope of that Jesus brings to to all of us, regardless of. And so we highlighted artists and speakers. We had guest speakers. We had elders come. And it gave us all a perspective as we walk this road together of healing and the work that Jesus does in each one of us. And so continue to pray. Continue to pray for the Connections team as they kind of look forward to going, what are our next steps into this reconciliation that we're engaging in? But again, for everybody, what does it mean to have the hope of Jesus live within us? So there's a short, quick update for this month. Thank you for engaging KC. Thank you for being involved. This summer, we're going to have the Summer of Connections. And it's an opportunity for us to connect after COVID and be able to connect as a family, as a church family, but also to invite in and to be able to bring in and make Jesus known to those who don't know Jesus yet. So we're going to be doing hikes. We're going to be doing biking trips. We're going to be doing, I even think there's a pool party somewhere in the mix and all that. So it's going to be a summer of how can we make connections with each other, but also the community at large, to know Jesus and make him known. So KC, I just encourage you to engage this summer in the Summer of Connections. I encourage you to engage with the community and for us to be on mission for Jesus. Thank you, we love you, and we'll see you next month.